All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Best Self Blueprint. So, as you all know, the mission of this podcast is to bring on people with the knowledge, insights, and experiences that'll help you move the dial towards becoming the best version of yourself, whatever that means to you. So, I want to welcome a world champion, a man of God, a man of family, just a man in general. So, we are about to welcome Christopher Wright. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, the first question I have, and this is mostly out of my sheer curiosity, is in your words, what does it take, like mindset wise, training wise, commitment wise, to be a world champion?
I say to be a world champion is definitely going to start with you got to have some self-belief. You got to put the work in. I say you need some good leadership around you because, good leadership going to guide you in the right direction. We got our own beliefs and our own thoughts, but when we got a solid circle around us, it helps us elevate because we can't think of everything. We don't know everything. So I say that's very important, is to believe in yourself and have somebody around you who know what they're doing. Have somebody around you who've been there before. You know what I'm saying? They can give you some good advice on how you try to get to where you want to go.
Absolutely.
Work hard. Listen to your coach.
Yeah, man. So in terms of because for people who don't know, you're a world champion in Jiu Jitsu, which is first of all, it's not an uncommon sport. There's a lot of competitors, and to be the top of the entire ranking in the world is no small feat. So when it comes to mindset, how do you overcome, when people talk about imposter syndrome or I've never really been here before, or do I really deserve it? How do you overcome that negative self-talk as you progress through the sport?
So I say for me, when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I rarely compete. It's very expensive to travel to Vegas, stay there for multiple days and compete. So I say maybe I've only competed twice in the gi and IBJJF period. So I never competed more than twice, 2 times only, So I always compete at the big tournaments because that's where it matters the most. So if I go compete, I might compete in Chicago, I'll compete in Atlanta. These are big tournaments as well, but you get the accolades mostly for winning the Pan Ams, the World Championships. So, I'm going to roll the dice and take my chances there. So, make it worthwhile. I kind of got lost track of the question. Can you repeat the question again?
Well, I guess it's so you've obviously done a lot of you're very big on practice is perfection, right? Practice is progress, and you're going to compete when it counts. But the thing is, there are a lot of people who they practice well, but then when it comes to the big stage, the lights, the fans, all that, they kind of hit that oh, am I really supposed to be here? Am I really the top of the top? Mm-hmm. Do you have that negative self-talk, or if you do have it, how do you combat it? And if you don't have it, what do you think kind of prevents it?
I got you. So I say you might go to IBJJF in Atlanta, and it might be more people in your division than it is at the actual world championships. And that's because the people in Atlanta, they probably thinking they're ready to compete, they motivated, but then it comes to the world championships, they're like, I'm not ready. But it's the same people, it's the same people. It's just that less people show up at Worlds because those are the people who actually believe they have a chance of winning. But really, everybody has a chance at winning. I say for me, this is my most confident that I have ever been for any jiu-jitsu tournament in my life. Because the Pan Am's my first major tournament. So I went to Pan Am's last year, a year ago, and I got the bronze medal. And I was cool with that because, we don't really train in the gi at Roufusport. I say, yeah, we rarely ever train in the gi. So when I went to Pans, I did prepare well. I had Rafian Stotts, he fight for Bellator. He about to be in the tournament. That's my boy, Jordan Mappa. Them was my 2 go-to guys. And before MMA practice, because we didn't train in the gi, they'd throw the gi on. We'd get a whole bunch of hard rounds in and just figure it out from there. So I had the great training partners, and they really pushed me well to get ready for that tournament. And I went to that tournament believing that I kind of believed that I would win, but not fully. You know what I'm saying? Not fully. I know I didn't fully believe, wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to win that tournament. But I ended up losing the match. And when I lost the match, I ain't feel bad about it because I'm like, man, this dude was better than me today. Like, it wasn't that I didn't try hard. It's like he knew what he was doing. He was countering everything that I was doing well. My best game, he had an answer for it. So, I was like, okay, I'll take it for what it is. My first time, and it's at a major tournament. Nice. I'm not going home empty-handed. I'm thankful. I'll take my consolation medal and build upon it next time. So the next time around, I say, I was actually in this program that just ended. It's called Man Heal Thyself. And in this program, one of the things I took from it is affirmations. So it taught me how to speak these things into existence. Even though I did have to work hard, that was important. But, every day, all day, I'm, what I'm saying, I'm the best. No one is better than me. I am backpack. I make them bag back. You know what I'm saying? That's all I said all the time, all the time, all the time. And what that means is, that I'm affirming to myself that I am the best based on the work that I put in. And no one is better than me because I am working the hardest right now. You can be better than me yesterday, you can be better tomorrow, but on the day that it's time for me to perform, I'm the best today. And when I say I am backpack, that's one thing I like to do. I like to take people back. So, I like to rear naked choke. I like to get behind people. Once I get the back, usually I secure the position, they never escape. So I say I'm backpack, I'm the human backpack. And when I say I make them bag back, that means I'm coming forward. You're not going to back me up. You're not going to intimidate me. I say one thing at the tournament when I went to Pan Am's, when I came back, even though I did well, and I probably even won the match that my son was talking about, I can't remember. My son watched me on Flow Combat. He like, Dad, why you let him push you? And I'm like, okay, nobody ever pushing me again. And ever, you know what I'm saying? Ever. And I took that mentality into the world championships, along with my affirmation, along with my training. And I had no fear. I knew I was going to win. I knew I was supposed to win. Anything less than gold medal was failure, because I had affirmed it so many times that I really felt comfortable. And when you feel comfortable and confident, and you don't have those nerves, and when you don't have those nerves, you don't get tired as fast. So at the end of the tournament, I was still fresh. I could have won a couple more matches because I was controlling my nerves. I actually believed in myself, So, and I say that's one thing that I'm gonna take forward in my MMA matches. It's believing in myself, like wholly and fully, with no fear, which I did develop fear in MMA at some point in time, and I remember when it happened. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there again. It's been over 2 years since I fought, and I know exactly why I lost my fights. And I just haven't been ready to get out there again to face that, because I know I'm over that. And one of the things, I actually was supposed to fight September the 25th before the World Championship. So last year was perfectly laid out. My fight September the 25th. Then I'm gonna win that fight. I'm gonna ride that wave, go win Worlds, and just enjoy the rest of the year with my family. But my fight got canceled September the 25th, but I was still able to go win Worlds. So everything happened for a reason. Who's to saying I could have hurt myself in the fight? Anything could have happened. So, God is in control. So I'm still thankful to win the World Championship. Then I was supposed to fight January 7th at Aries Fights. And that's in they do a lot of shows in Tennessee, that with my boy Tim Lloyd, but they wasn't able to match me with opponents, so I didn't get a chance to get matched. And I kind of knew I wasn't gonna get matched already because I wasn't hearing from them. The weeks was counting down. I said once I got to a certain point, I just started enjoying the holidays with my family. Once I said, if I don't hear nothing about Thanksgiving, I know it's not looking good, but I'm gonna stay disciplined in Thanksgiving. But come later on when Christmas time come around, once I start planning Christmas, and if I go home for Christmas, I know I'm not fighting. Because going home with the family take you out of your element sometimes, and you want to enjoy that food and enjoy that time. Because I did owe my family that. I kind of felt like, my wife gave me all the leeway I wanted to go win Worlds. So I knew I owed that to her to win. She gave me all the leeway, train as much as you want, and she held it down with the kids. So when I was done with all of that, I knew it was time for me to give the family my time. Yep. So you gotta so I kind of went on the tangent here, but you get what I'm saying.
No, dude, there's a lot to unpack. Like, you had a lot of gold nuggets in there. I would say like most recently you were talking about like my loved ones gave me the leeway to like do what I needed to do, right? Like I had these super high ambitions and these super high goals. And there are a lot of people who like when you talk about that, they'll try to pull you down, right? Like they'll say like, "Oh, be realistic." "Oh, like why are you wasting your time doing that?" And the fact that you have that connection with the people you love where they say like, "No, like you got to make the most of it." I think that's amazing. But then the reciprocal aspect of that is you now turn around and say like, "Okay, they let me like go do my dream. They let me like play big. Now I gotta reciprocate that. Like it's the holidays, it's family time. Like I gotta hunker down and be with family." That's something. So I used to do MMA. I don't do it anymore. I don't enjoy getting punched in the face, so there's that. But
Yep.
so I do. I actually race professionally, like obstacle course racing, and so with that, it's another big thing of like during race season, all my friends know like I'm not going to be going out a lot. I'm not going to be drinking. I'm not going to be, doing all that stuff. Like I'm very much like in camp and prepping for the next race.
Yes,
And
sir.
they're very like adamant of that. And it's awesome. But then there's that reciprocal aspect of, okay, now the race season's done. Like, I miss you guys. I love you guys. Let me show you what I'm about by reciprocating like the patience with here's my time, here's my effort, here's my energy, and it's the best I've got. So I really respect that. But more than anything, you were talking about the thing that really leveled up your game was affirmations. And I don't know about you, but like when I started doing affirmations, it felt fake. Like it felt like I was like just saying it to say it. But eventually you hit this point where you're like, no, I am the best. Like I am going to beat anyone who's in front of me. I feel bad for anyone who's in front of me. Like I'm going to mess them up. And that's true for like for people listening, like that's true for combat sports, obviously, but that's true for everything. Like if you have a goal in front of you and you are that affirmed, you're set when you match it with work ethic. And I
Most definitely.
think that's where the disconnect comes is like people talk about like, oh, the law of attraction is hokey and like you actually have to do things, but it's a stellar combo. Like I'm talking to an MMA fighter, so I'm just going to say it. It's the perfect 1-2 combo when you
Yes,
throw
sir.
the jab of the law of affirmation and then you throw the cross of the like put in the work. And when you just hit that like solid right up the pipeline 1-2, snap the wrist, it's game over.
Oh, but check me out though. So we hit him with the jab, then we hit him with the cross, and then we're gonna bring the left hook. We probably gonna even scoop the left hook, as my guy Testament would say. All right. And the scoop and left and the scoop hook, that's gonna be, that divine power of God. And I say over these past few weeks, that's what I've been really tapping into. So the mind, body, and spirit. So yeah, like even going to worlds and winning, I felt like I was there mentally with the mind. I was there physically, and I was there spiritually in a sense, but nowhere near at the level that I'm at right now. So I'm like, I gotta get back out there. I know I gotta get back out there. I'm definitely like, oh man, I never even cared about being a black belt before until right now, because it's like, okay, I won worlds at brown belt. I want to win that black belt this year. That's what's next. I know I can do it. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. And I definitely say over the last couple months, I definitely been working to get more spiritually connected. And I definitely gotta thank my wife for that, because she set the tone for that. And that's man, I can get off on the tangent, man. Let me not get off on. I'm trying not to get off on the tangent, but if you want me to, I will.
Yo, you're the guest, man. That's why
All right.
that's why you're here. You drop some knowledge.
So I'm everywhere. We everywhere right now. But let me take you back. All right. So when I met my wife, uh, she was hustling a little bit. She was hustling. I met her at my homie house. You know, they kind of worked together. They kind of hustled together a little bit. And I'm just like, man, who is this girl? You know what I'm saying? I said, next time I see her, I'm gonna say something to her. So one day she was counting money, and I was interrupting her count. Like she was like 20, I'm like 70, 76. You know what I'm saying? 80. That was my way of flirting with her. You know what I'm saying? So okay, got a little laugh out of her. But and then because I knew it was something, it was just something about her. It was something about her. Like I just want to know her. Let me just meet her. And so that day, I followed her to the car when she left my homie crib. And I was asking her, talking to her, asking for her phone number. I was like, yeah, let me take you out. What I'm saying? Let's get some food together, But she already knew that I was leaving for Milwaukee within 2 weeks. So she's like, nah, I know what you want to do. And I'm like, nah, no, it's not even like that. I just want to hang out. And, she didn't believe me. And then I ended up getting her to give me the number. And she was like, don't be surprised if, if I don't answer the phone. And I said, wait. I said, don't do that. I said, it took me so much. I had to build up so much nerve just to even try to talk to you. Like, it took me a lot to even build up to this point to where I can even speak a word to you. So, just give me a chance if you feel like it. So I was like, I'm going to hit you up on Friday or something like that. And but I didn't hear from Friday. I probably hear like 2 days later. And I already knew what I was doing. I'm like, yeah, I was like, well, I'm about to go to the grocery store and I was gonna go get some food and cook. And I wanted to know if you would come over and I could cook for both of us, I'm a gentleman for real, what
By
I
the
mean?
way, smooth.
Thank you. So she came over. We played, I cooked. We played the Xbox. We probably played some Madden or something like that. So I had a good time. Then the next day she said she's gonna take me out. So she took me out to Cheesecake Factory. And I ended up spending the night over her house that night. And I stayed over there and I woke up in the morning. My alarm clock set. So I always work out in the morning. I was 100% focused. I was dialed in. I'm about to come to Rufus Sports. So I'm ready. You know what I mean? So I'm ready to go to my workouts. But before my workouts, I got my Bible study going. So I'm like, she like, what you doing? She kind of hears something on the phone, like me. And she like, I'm like, I'm on this Bible study. She like, can you put it on speakerphone? I said, yes. I put it on speakerphone. She listened and we had like the most beautiful conversation ever. You know what I'm saying? Like she was enlightening me, you know what I'm saying? Spiritually, like she knew way more about the Bible than me, still blow me in out the water. I'm like, whoa, I never met a woman like this before. I said in college, I said I was kind of like in between. Like I always knew who I was supposed to be in Christ, but it was a struggle. You know what I mean? It was really a struggle for me. And even when I would tell a girl, even my girlfriend at times, like, yeah, I could see myself being a pastor one day or a reverend or a preacher one day. They should be looking at me like, what? You know what I'm saying? I remember my girlfriend told me at the time, like, I ain't trying to be no preacher's wife. And it was like the way I was living my life, people might not have guessed that was in my heart. I was, having fun, having some girlfriends, you know what I'm saying? I was pretty popular in college. So I was
also like, I got to interject. I feel like people automatically assume like combat sports, religious. Like I feel like they totally neglect the two. And it's like, there's not really a correlation between the two. Like you can be in combat sports and be super highly spiritual and religious, because combat is essentially like the human experience. So that's physical. That's like, if you talk about chakras, that's like the root chakra. But then when you go up the line all the way at the top, that's where you meet God. That's that spiritual aspect. And I feel like the fact that like you're talking about this is just another adage to the fact that you can be this combat sport. You can express your primitive nature. You can understand those things while you connect with God. You understand your spirituality. You understand your ties to, what's beyond the physical nature of experiencing human life. And I just wanted to take a second and let people know that, because I feel like there are a lot of people who they essentially tie religion to pacifism and peacefulness, which in a sense that's true, but there is also like the human experience aspect, which is like, you need to move your body. You need to understand your body. And a big part of that is like, if you know how to combat things that are coming at you, you're that much more equipped.
Most definitely. What's that saying that I read before? I'd rather be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's one of my favorite quotes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. And I just feel like you do such a good job of explaining, like, yeah, like for sport, you do like, there is jujitsu. There's this ground game where it's this very much like alpha personalities coming together and seeing like who is just the naturally better person physically in this moment. It may not be in general because you may have an off day, they may be just on their point, but in this meeting, who is the more dominant combative person? And I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's what we need. Like, I think there are so many toxic ways of releasing aggression. And I think a really healthy way of releasing aggression is getting in a controlled sport like environment where you can express like physical aggression in a way that's solely for the fun of the sport.
Most definitely. I'd have been in the gym. We go at it. I'm small go at it. And somebody match like, hey bro, you trying to go to the park with the kids right now? You know what I'm saying? Immediately after. Seriously, no, I ain't even making this up, like using an example. That's real. Yeah. Hey, what you want to do right now? You trying to look, me and Rafi all the time. Hey, Michaela need a break. Cause FIBA probably need a break. We can go take the kids to the park so they can have a break or they can go get together and relax or something. You know, that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Right after whatever happened in the cage, it's immediately over. We already moving on and we enjoyed the experience that we had
There's that
together.
respect. There's the
Yep.
respect. Like anyone. So I always listen to this song when I'm training, no matter what I'm training for. When I'm training for a race, an event, a work, like whatever, I listen to a song called Arena, and it talks about like the man willing to step into the arena,
The man in an arena.
the man in the arena. And it's so true. Like, and this is why I find it fascinating watching like professional sports with other people is I hear so many like critiques and criticisms and all this stuff. And I usually never say it, but I always think like, do you realize like what you would do in that situation? Like you're in the arena with people who are the best of the best in the entire world. So no matter how bad that person is playing, I respect the fact that they are in there. Like they're there. They made it. They
Most
got their
definitely.
spot. And so I just think like the fact that, well, the reason I had you on here is you understand that feeling of you're not just a bystander. You're doing it. You're taking action. You are the man in the arena. But I think a big part of that is something that you were talking to me about before we got on when we were exchanging emails and texts and all that, is you talk about the black sheep. And although I think the black sheep means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, to me, I feel it's the person who forgoes societal norms in order to cultivate what they believe is right, no matter how contradictory that is.
Most definitely.
And I feel like it's those people who really rise up and make the most of what we call life. So I know you were saying like you were pretty much a black sheep. So if you could talk about your experiences, what led you to identifying as a black sheep and how that benefited you, because I know it did. If you could just talk on that, I think people would really find that useful.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I was a black sheep in a lot of ways. You know, I feel like because I don't know, I feel like that kind of got like a negative connotation to it.
You're right. Here, let me correct this. Sorry. Breaking societal norms.
Yes, sir. Yes,
There we
sir.
go.
Yes,
Yep. That
yes,
tracks.
sir. And breaking generational curses. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yep. And that goes all along with just growing up in that environment where families weren't together, you know, where I seen how it affected different people, how like so many people I grew up with are dead right now. You know, me and my friend just got back. My boy just came to see me like 2 weeks ago, and he came to see me. I've been knowing him since the second grade. Somehow in Detroit. So we went to school together in Detroit, elementary school. Somehow he ended up in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I was living. And we ended up linking up there. Then he came and visited me here. And bro, so many, we was talking about reminiscing like all our friends. I'm like, bro, there's so many kids in your neighborhood. And I'm like so sad that I had to move out of my neighborhood. I missed all my friends, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, it kind of separated me. And he was like, bro, yeah. And he's like, bro, what's crazy is like all the people who we grew up with, all the people that grew up in my area, he's like, most of them dead. And that's true. Like most of them dead, like insane. We talk about it all the time. Like, oh yeah, you know, such and such passed away. You know, such and such passed. It happens. It's happening all the time. So I always wanted more. You know what I mean? I always wanted different. I always knew it was supposed to be better than that. So, you know, my goal was always to have my own family, and we're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be the first generation in my family that I have been around to set the example. Like, look, this is how you keep your family together. And one way we keep our family together, for me, it's not the same for everybody, because people got different aspects of spirituality, religion, and everything like that. But for me, as a believer of God and Jesus, man, that's the forefront of my entire family. Like, when I met my wife, I can see that all on her. And I say, like, we kind of fell off spiritually. Like, when we started talking, and I moved up here, we was having Bible study every single night. That was what we talked about all the time. But when she moved to Milwaukee, we started to fall off and have conflict. And like, one thing I used to always say to her, like, babe, I know it's something about you. I was like, I know I need to elevate myself too. But I'm like, you got something on you that's so special. And I knew that since the first time I saw you. And I always told you that. And I say within the last maybe 5 months, man, I say for 2 months, we just got back adjusted. I got adjusted because me and my wife stopped talking, because every time I came in the house, she was always praying, reading the Bible. I'm talking about all day, every day. I'm like, oh yeah, I ain't know it's gonna be this powerful, but it is. And then I started to catch on and feel comfortable in the environment again. And now we, on that spiritual vibe where it just completely changed our relationship. So we on a better path right now, and we can be that example. Now I got proof. Like, look, this is how we did, and this is what we did, and can't nobody tell me no different if you ain't did it as well. Like, okay, you can't tell me how to do this if you ain't never did it before. So let me tell you how to do it. And we can be examples. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my cousin Jim, we talk about this all the time. He's my first cousin. I'm like, bro, we got to do it. We both married. We go through our struggles. And when I'm feeling like, oh, this ain't going to work. When we feel like this ain't going to work, we always check each other like, bro, it got to work. If not us, then who? So I just got the phone. I just got off the phone, the group chat with my boys a minute ago. And I was basically the black sheep in the group chat, because, some people feel where I was coming from. They're like, oh, you on your high horse today, bro. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm not on my high horse. I'm just saying this ain't the conversation that we need to have. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing wrong being a black sheep. Just be true to yourself, be a good person, and kind of like when it's appropriate, mind your business. But sometimes you got to step up, you know what I mean? For your peoples, you can't just have them out here making mistakes and doing the wrong thing and not say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because we grown, we know what we're doing, but we grown and we know what we're doing, because it can have us lose an MMA fight, or lose an opportunity in the UFC, or end up in jail. Because I ain't
lose any opportunity. Lose any opportunity.
Yes. Because your boy ain't say nothing because you grown. Stop it. I'm not that one. You just gonna have to not like me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to kick me out the group chat. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I don't care.
You and I, like, we come from, and I'll say this very like bluntly, like, we come from such different backgrounds. I feel like for you, you're saying like most of the people that like you grew up with, and like you had those, like, I mean, when you're 18, your entire life is the people that you grew up with in your childhood. And the fact that like for you, like most of those people are gone. I'm just gonna say this. I cannot sympathize with that. Like I that doesn't register, because for me, like most people I grew up with, like I'm connected with on Facebook and I can see what they're doing and all that.
I ain't gonna say most.
The fact that like it seems like you and I have such a similar mindset of, if not me, then who?
Yes, sir.
That is what best self is all about. And I feel like most people who have listened to this, especially most people who have gotten this far, they understand like it is so crucial in life to take such extreme ownership that you think of that statement. If not me, then who? If I'm not going to show up for the best version of who I can be, who is? If I'm not going to do the right thing, who is? If I'm not going to be the man or woman in the arena, who is? And yes, I feel like you and I have that very similar mindset of like, you gotta be the example. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, like, what's preventing you from it? Like you have to show up with the intention of making sure that you're optimizing your time on this planet in your life. And if you're not doing that, why are you not?
And you know, when I was reading this book and being a part of this Man Heal Thyself program, like, you know, one of the things, you know, I took from it, like one question I remember is like, why is it important for me to show up at my highest and wisest self? And that's in any environment, in the gym, anywhere I'm at. Why is it important for me to show up at my highest and wisest self? Because if somebody asks me a question or present a problem, what answer am I going to give them? Whether it's about jujitsu, hey, how do I stop this? How do I do this? If I don't have the most knowledge, I can't give them the best answer. So whether it be like learning jujitsu or MMA or reading my Bible, you know, I'm just trying to show up for the people I love at my highest and wisest self, because I might only have one opportunity to make a difference in that moment.
As your best self, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay,
Yes,
so I want to start to wrap it up. I've taken plenty of your time, but there's something I ask everybody, every single person, no matter what. You think you're ready for the question?
I'm ready.
All right. For you right now in your life, what is the next step in you pursuing your best self?
I'm already doing. I committed myself fully to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I've never done it before. I've always told the line, went back and forth, but I got the right people around me. With the main person, my wife. You know, when it comes to like certain things, like maybe even smoking weed, I've always been off and on with it. You know what I mean? But I've always been able to quit when I needed to quit. But somehow I end up back in that cycle. My wife told me, "Hey, it ain't about quitting for you. It's about being delivered." And I'm like, "Oh, I do need to be delivered." So just praying on that. I'm doing it right now. I'm reading my Bible, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. So I'm doing that. I'm getting my body healthy right now too. So mind, body, and spirit. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, I was strong. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to help myself be mentally strong. Physically, I went through so many injuries last year. I rolled both ankles. The ankle pop hurt around the gym. You know what I mean?
I hate that, dude. And even if you're not the one who does it, like you hear it and it just.
Yes. Tore my hamstring, all of that. So it was like mentally taxing on me and physically taxing on me. So now I feel like I've recovered mentally and physically, so I can go back in the gym and do what I need to do and to be the best version of myself. Yep. So that's where it is. Just seek ye first the kingdom of God. Continue to trust the people around me, which I do. I got like the best people around me in the gym, where I got the best teammates in the world. Duke and Kush and Gerald are the best coaches in the world, and they keep it real, and they really show me real love. It ain't like this one thing that don't get said enough, and people don't really understand. Like yeah, the coaches do be hard on us, but and people hear about like certain things in the gym about coaches being hard on us, but they don't see the behind the scenes, like how Duke showed me all the love he showed me. He don't charge me tuition. He trained me for free, and despite that, me underperforming, not making the gym no money, I feel so bad. I'm like, I go to Dan, I say, "Duke, I need to pay you some. I need to start paying the gym some money, because I don't feel like I earned my keep here." You know what I'm saying?
Here's your potential, bro. That's it. You are their ROI. You're their return on investment.
Man, and one way or another. So I say, ask Duke, how much can I pay him? I don't have a lot. And what do he say? Dan say, Duke said, "Don't worry about it." You know what I'm saying?
MMA I say, is a lot though. Like I used to compete and I don't anymore. Mm-hmm. And like, so I love to train. It's a really useful skill. Mm-hmm. But like for people who want to get into MMA, like just know, like, it's not like a Planet Fitness membership. Like you are getting trained by like very highly qualified specialists who know how to kick the living crap.
But why me? Why me? Why they do that for me? Why me? Why me?
Potential. I'm telling you, bro.
Man, it's bigger than potential. It's bigger than potential. Man, I know God touching people's heart. Look, I say like within the last 2 months or 2 or 3 months, Gerald Machart, he didn't give me like 2 boxes of food. I don't act poor, I don't talk poor, I don't look poor, but he gave me 2 boxes of food, like the meal prep food. Like
it's the only energy, bro. You're putting out good energy.
Me? And I needed it because my wife is overwhelmed. So when I brought it home for the family, it was like, hey, babe, you ain't got to cook this week. So he don't even know how much he blessed up my household. Duke don't know how much he blessed my household because the money that I don't have to pay. I pay for school to get my nursing degree. I pay for my son to go to wrestling. I pay for all my kids swim every day, every single day.
Look, I'm telling you this right now. Energy is the most valuable currency on this planet.
Yes.
And you, my friend, have one of the best energies I've ever experienced in my life. This is episode 52. I've sat down with, I don't know, I mean, some people have been on multiple times, but let's say 40 of some of the most inspiring people I've ever met. And you just have this thing about you where you are such a good person and you're so devoted to making sure that you leave a positive impact that there is no way the God that you love and put your faith in would leave you high and dry. There's no way. You're bound for blessing, bro. I promise you.
Hey, listen, one more thing. When it comes to that. So when I was supposed to move to Milwaukee, my car broke down. So I ended up having to get a Greyhound ticket. So look, everybody knew I was moving. Nobody knew how much money I had or didn't have. I just left it in the same spot. Never moved the car, left it, copped on the Greyhound. But before I left, look, 4 people gave me money and I needed the money. I didn't ask anybody for anything. My boy Ovens, he fighting the UFC OSP. He gave me some money. Boom. I had a payday loan nobody knew about. I paid that payday loan off. I seen my boy Rip. He police officer now in Milwaukee. We was passing ways at like the gym or something like that. He was driving by. He circled back around. He said, bro, the Lord put this on my heart to give you this money. He gave it to me, put it in my hand. My homie Nick, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even ever been the closest, but he knew I was leaving. Like, here you go, bro. Like all these people, my Fever, my wife now, only having her hanging around me for like a week, gave me money, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't turned it down because I know that's from the Lord. My journey, it was here to Milwaukee is blessed. My journey to Roof's World is blessed, and I'm not done yet.
Not done. You're just getting started, bro.
Just getting started.
Heck yeah. And here's why I want to leave this off. So anybody listening, it genuinely does not matter how old you are. I think of my life as fine wine. You know what happens with fine wine? Better with age.
Better.
So here's how I'm going to leave it. Like, no matter who you are, no matter what your background, if you surround yourself with the right people, coaches, mentors, friends, if you put in the work, you actually put in the work, not just check the boxes and go through the motions, but optimize the amount of time you put into your effort, and you truly believe in what you're doing, there is nothing that will stop you.
Nothing.
Let's go. And so that's where I want to leave it, man. So Chris, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. It is truly special getting to sit down with a world champion of anything, and especially a combat sport. So the fact that you're willing to take the time to sit down with little old me is awesome. I have so much respect for you, the way you think, how you act, and your values. And to anyone listening, I hope you really emulate what this guy has to show, because he's a man of spirituality. He's a man of family. He's a man of value, and he's a man of virtue. And that is, to me, a very large piece of the puzzle of becoming the best version of yourself. So Chris, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. And for anybody listening, if you liked anything that we said, that's why there's a like button. If you know someone who could relate or pick something up from what we talked about, that's why there's a share button. And if you have agreements, disagreements, comments, anything, that's why there is a comment section. So throw it in there. But truly, everybody who's gotten to this point, I appreciate you. I really care about everyone who invests their time in becoming the best version of themselves they can. And until next time, stay true to yourself.